Hello, wonderful princess. I'm so happy you're here with me for the lesson number 2. Hey, you girls, you rock it in the way you watch and commented and reacted to video number 1. Really, there were some of you that actually got me. I thank you so much for your comments. There's this one who's like, oh my gosh, Judith, you're really doing it. Yes, I'm doing it because I want you to write that book. There's this other one who was like, Judith, it's like your first lesson was just about me because everything you said about met what I've been thinking about. I think now I understand a bit what has been going on stopping me from writing the book. Yes. And then now I hope since you've identified the thing stopping you, you actually take action and write a book. And there's this other one who was like, oh my gosh, when I listen to you, when I feel the way it's coming out, it's like you are so passionate. You want me to really write that book. Yes, Florence, I want you to write that book because I'm sure your life and the life of many will be changed by your message. Please, girls, do not just react, take action, and let me know how your book project is kicking off. If you keep watching, as you stay tuned, you're here today again. So you will learn step by step how to turn those ideas into a book, which is the topic of today. And before we delve into it, I want to do a quick recap for those who didn't have the time to watch video number 1. We said in the first video that many people want you, but they spend their whole life, they even go, and without achieving their dreams, their plan, their project of writing their book. And the assignment I gave you guys at the end of that video was to make some time, whatever duration you want to give it, to that reflection, thinking time. But I wanted you to make time to ask yourself 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. 4. She doesn't know how to say 4. It's 4 questions. Yeah, and the first question was 1. What are the obstacles stopping you from writing the book? What is the main, or are the main obstacles that have been keeping you into the want? I want. Write them down. Second one, are those obstacles valid obstacles? Are they legit from stopping you? Are there like valid reasons for you not to write your book? Because we discover sometimes time problems are in general related to prioritizing. And then sometimes with the money thing, you do the first step and then things get like the path is clear as you move in. You're not going to wait till you have what you need to start. No. See. And then there's this the third question was, with respect to the obstacles you have identified, what can you do today? Not well, I will. And then the fourth question was, what was your engagement, your commitment as far as those obstacles are concerned? I really make time to go back there because I sincerely believe if you do not clear, if your mindset is not clear and you are determined to have this book written, it will not be written. Even though I'll provide you the steps as I will do today, you'll still take them, and when the inner critic pops up, the self-doubt will pop up saying, oh, who are you? You see, you're lacking inspiration. Who do you think you are? You just drop and accept it's a lie. It's a lie. But if you've already dealt with those this little voice and all those reasons trying to keep you from going for your dreams, for your projects and making them happen, if you have dealt with them right from the beginning with your questions, your answer, and at the end your commitment, when it comes up, no, it is not true that I am lacking inspiration, I'll go and check my post-it on my board, on my file, and I will continue. Probably it's clear you can continue, but if you've not dealt, if you've not prepared your actions, you'll not move in your project. And then now I hope you have that book and that pen ready, because we have to fire up, transform your ideas into a book today. First thing, before you start to write your book, it is important and essential that you determine who you're writing for. It is important because knowing exactly who you're talking to, you know how to talk to that person. I have a 6-year-old girl. If I'm talking to her, I'll use the words she can understand. I'll use the vocabulary, the level of grammar that suits her age. If I'm talking to a woman in her 30s, that's a different jargon I'm going to use. And if it's a woman, like color, emotions, sensations. If I'm writing, say for example, a book, I'm writing a book for a book on writing songs. Well, the words I will use, the syllables, the musical syllables should be used. I cannot write a book on music without the jargon specific to musicians. And knowing exactly who I am writing for will set the tone, because I know in my head, I know my target, I know my audience. If I'm writing a book, for example, for people at workplace, it is important that yes, I can still use the jargon, the words I'm using, things like workplace, organization culture, team spirit, they flow and they go with this kind of topic. But if I'm writing for teenagers and I'm using this jargon, organization culture, team spirit, building efficient team, it's like, what is this? I don't know what the heck what I'm talking about. Even if I'm telling teenage stories, but using that jargon and that kind of vocabulary, it doesn't suit the people I'm trying to reach. I think you're getting the point. And it is so important to know who you are writing for, because sometimes when you have what is called the writer's block, what the writer's block is, when people start to write a book, they have this flow, and then after some time, it's like you don't know what else to add. It's like you're lacking inspiration. It's like you're really blocked. You don't know what to add. I'm telling you, this is a good strategy. Write it down when that will happen, because it happens. It happens. Maybe you set your time, you're in the library or wherever, you sit and write, and then you go there and then nothing comes. It's like you have no idea. But when you know exactly, if you close your eyes and then you think about the person you're writing to, you think about your target audience, you imagine, you know how they are, what they do, what is their pain, especially what is their pain. Oh my gosh, the inspiration to produce content to help them with their pain cannot lack. If, for example, you're writing a book to share the message on how to help old people, and then you tell me you have writer's block, I would just tell you, like, close your eyes. Do you know someone who is lonely? Yes. How does it look like? And then as you think about the person, the words, what you want to tell that person will come out. So know clearly who you're talking to. If I take the example again of Florence, I think people watching this video will wonder who is Florence. It's because I want you to write that book, my sister. Please do. So her target is mainly women who do not have artistic talents to help them decorate their house. So I'll tell her, what do these women look like? What are their pins? And things like, okay, maybe they have nice houses or no, but they don't. So there are some who even do not know how to keep the house organized, which is one first step. And the next thing I'll ask Florence, so when you come in the house of a woman where there's like clutter everywhere, what's the first thing? Do you just start, you decorate and you keep the clutter? And as she starts to speak, this is the material she needs to write. I don't know if you get the point. The idea is when you can imagine who you're writing for. If I put the person right now in the room where you are, you know what to tell the person, because that's the message you have in your heart. So knowing clearly who you're speaking to will assure you always have the flow. Now you're inspired and then you have the flow. How do you take that flow from ideas all over the place, all sorts of ideas, into a book? Next step, book organization. And for this, there are various ways. People do it differently, but there are three main ways that I generally advise. First, just the normal folders. In the offices, do I have one close to me? No, but just this normal 2-page folders. So I will advise to create folders for the different angles your topic, your book topic is about. Say, for example, you want to write a book on the story of your life. Well, a folder will be like how you were born, family contest, how was like early ages, teenage, adult life, professional life, emotional life, financial life, your career. These are like different folders. And when you have your folders organized, when an idea pops up, oh, I remember this story when we were in secondary school, teenage, you write it down and you put it in the teenage folder. When the next day you're walking maybe outside, you see how nature is beautiful, how God is good, and then you remember this scenery when you met your loved one for the first time. You can still go in the story of your life. You jot it down and then you put it in the maybe emotional and familiar life. And then another time you have a call of this friend who's like, oh my gosh, Judith, I'm in problems, I have issues paying my bills. Oh my gosh, you recall the time when you had just finished the university and you were looking for a job and you needed money to pay your bills. Write it down and put it maybe in finance or university. I'm sure you're getting the point. Having your folders organized, whenever your ideas, your book ideas come, you write them down and you classify them in the specific folder they belong. So when comes the time to actually write the book, you take the folder. Oh, story of me when I was a child, when I played with my friends, when I had no friends. This is a lot of material that will be put in that section or that chapter. That's one way of organizing your book. Another way of doing it is mind maps. I love mind maps. I'm so much in love with mind maps. Anyways, you will see it, because before the end of the workshop, I will share a worksheet with the different topics, like day 1 or lesson 1. This is what we talked about. This is the exercise. Day 2, lesson 2 for today, the steps, the different things you have to check on in a mind map. I think they are so good to organize ideas and to do some various things. But I love mind map. I'll talk more about the mind maps later. Second way to organize your ideas. Oh my gosh, is it because I feel bad about this bra? Sorry, it looks like my bra is bigger, or I have lost weight. I'm sorry, but I really had to fix it. It was making me not feeling okay. But let's continue with our book organization tools or ways of organizing our book ideas. The next one is the post-it. You know, these post-its that we use in the office. Yes, just those normal post-its. You can just buy them of different colors. And you may decide, post-it green, they are for, if I still take the same example of the story of my life that I want to write into a book. Post-it Number blue is for me as a child, the background, the family I come from. Post-it pink for when I was a little child from nursery, primary school. Post-it orange for secondary school. Post-it yellow, university. So whenever I have an idea for a secondary school, which is post-it, say green, I'll write that specific idea using that kind of post-it and I put it on the wall. Whenever the ideas come, I write and put them. I write and put them. This is just to get all the ideas classified, belong to a certain category. And when comes the time to write the book, this is so easy. You just take one post-it. Oh, the way I dealt with bullying in secondary school. You write, putting all the details of the idea that came. And then you take the next post-it with the same color, and that's how you elaborate. If, say, you have, for example, 5 blue post-it that handle issues with secondary school, and if for each post-it you write, for example, 1,000 words, this is already 5,000 words, my friend, and this is more than 10 to 20 pages. I'm sure now you get the gist of it. So when the idea pops up, okay, this idea, which category you take, you write, and then you develop, and then you organize. Now, I want to talk about the research. The research. Some people say, oh, to write a good book, you need to do a lot of research. I agree. Depending on your target, there are some people who really love to read books that are well researched. It's like, wow, this author really did the work. Some kind of readers love that. Not all of them. You know, millennials, depending on the kind of book also, when they say that they grab a how-to book, sometimes they don't want all the history behind. They just want to go get to the point. How to prep your voice before a show. They want to go straight. They don't want to know all the history of the kinds of exercise, how prepping boys have been evolving over time. They just want to go straight to it. So again, it comes back to the first, who are you writing for? Yeah, you get my point. So for the research, I personally advise to write your first draft. Yes. Do that first brain dump after you have dumped all your ideas on the post-it, under folders, or you have classified them using a mind map. You now write the book. And how do you write the book? Well, you write the book. Some do it, some still do it even now with a pen and a paper. So you take the time, you take one topic and then you write it. And some other people, they type it on the computer like I do. I do not write on the paper before, have maybe my assistant to translate it. No, I go it directly, which calls on like how many words you can type. The faster you do, the faster you get your book done. But there is this other option that a lot of people are using now. They speak their book. So they speak as I'm speaking now. After speaking, they have an audio file that they send to they send the file to be transcribed. And there are so many companies offering transcription services. So many. Rev.com does a very good job. I have used their service and they are really doing great. Well, I love how they rendered the file I sent them. But you do not have just Rev. There are many other companies doing transcription. So you send a file and then they give you back a Word document, which you just have to go through and arrange the grammar, the syntax and things like that. People love it because it saves a lot of time. If you are someone who will type a page in a week for your book to be completed, you can see how long it will take. So now if you're somebody, if you do not have money, say you are a student, maybe work your typing skills so that you can type faster. But if you have some money that you can invest, go the transcription way. And there's even a better news, because now with technology there are software that are developed that can actually do the transcription. There's one that is really popular and a lot of people are using it. Dragon works so well. So you buy the software, you install it on your computer with a good microphone, and even on your cell phone nowadays they have an app that you can just download on your cell phone, and then you speak the book, and then the software will automatically transcribe it. And after you have a text, so you're speaking, but it is transformed into a text. And after you have your text, you can go to the next step, which is editing. And for the editing, a lot of questions. A lot of people say, "Oh, I hear a lot about hiring an editor. Do I really need an editor? What is an editor? Is it doing just correcting my grammar errors? But so can I send it to my English teacher or to my friends that are studying English?" There's more to the job of the editor than just editing your book, and there are different kind of editors. There are some editors that are specialized in the structure. So even though you have organized your files, your post-it or your mind map, a professional structural editor will help you pinpoint some aspects. Like he'll help you with, it is better to have a story here. It will question like the way you've developed a topic. I have used developmental editor, which is also structural. It helps you with the development of your book. Yes, I've used one for Women of Influence. I did, but for the Will to Win and La Fille Cabrize, I didn't use one. But for Women of Influence, and she'll do, it was a lady there. You really did a great job. Thank you so much. Thank you. The book wouldn't have been what it is without your help. She'll pinpoint things that are lacking. For example, if you make a statement, this person say, is it backed up? It helps you go deeper, especially in non-fiction. But even in fiction books, a development editor also helps. But the decision is all yours. Now, if it's a personal, like your story, maybe not, but I will advise an editor. It can be costly, but it helps to have the eye of a professional person, knowing that for this kind of book, it is good to have this type of content. So if you have written you've developed your book and that portion is lacking, the professional editor will point out that, oh, this is missing. You can just do the way you think, but if you want a really good book, a professional book, I think it's great to have an editor. And as I say, the editor can help with the development of the book or with the content editing. Is it flat? Do you have meat? Do you deliver on what you're saying? For example, you say, I'm writing a book teaching people how to play guitar, but in your content you're saying how you play. These are the kinds of notes. You're telling your stories. You're telling your content has like more like history or story. It doesn't really help the person reading it learn how to put the fingers, how to play the first note, how to play a certain play on C or C minor. So the editor will point that out, that, oh, you're not delivering. This is like one point Deborah pointed. When I started the first raw draft of Woman of Influence, she read it and she's like, Judith, your promise is like to help woman grow herself and reach to the top. But In the way you're writing, I'm seeing a lot of different things you're putting in, but you're not really telling them concrete things to do. And it helped me that she pointed that out, which is why really I advise to hire a professional editor. You have your story, you have your expertise, but she's looking it like an outside eye. Okay, this is what you promised to do, but are you delivering? I've read like 2, 3, 4 chapters. I'm not seeing it coming, except if you have 30 chapters in your book. But if you say I'm gonna, by the end of reading the book, you will know how to play guitar, and by chapter 5 you've not taught me how to do the basic things, that surely a good editor will point it out. Some other people say, well, the editor is costly and some do not really deliver, so you need to watch how you hire your editor. But when you have a good one, it makes a difference. And another thing too that I would advise as far as editing is concerned is, before, well, you may hire the developmental editor. Yes, you're a good girl. The developmental editor should be hired right at the beginning, because if you take weeks to produce 20,000 words, and then you hire the editor who feels like the angle you're developing and stressing is not really delivering on what you promise on the back cover of your book, your promise, the thing you really want to achieve with your book title, after 20,000 words is painful. So if you decided if you decide to make your mind and go for a developmental editor, please do at the beginning, when you've already identified your topic, your target, because these are some of the questions that will help you identify a good editor. He knows what he's doing, so that he will help you throughout the development of the book. But for the portion of content editing, grammar, syntax, the way you say it, the jargon that goes for the kind of book you're doing, you can do it. I advise to do your self-editing before sending it to a professional editor. I cannot lie to you guys, professional editing can cost. Well, when I say can cost, it is not millions, but it costs some dollars. So, and in general, they charge per word. The more you have a big book, the more words they have to go through to give their feedback, the more the bill will be like expensive. And if you have done a good job self-editing your book first, you take them less time, especially for those who charge by hour. Yes, there are some that charge by hour. So if you take time after producing that first draft, after taking your post-its or taking your mind map and writing everything that comes in your mind as far as that topic and subtopic and section is concerned, the next thing is you go through your writing. Caution here, don't do self-editing while you're still developing, because different parts of the brain are involved in doing the job. So get out all your material, post it, develop the post-it, write everything that you have in your mind, in your heart, in your folders, in your everything as far as the topic is concerned. But do not go and read and start to correct errors and try to fix this. No, because one aspect, the creative part of your brain, is involved in the writing portion, and then another portion of the brain is involved when you do the editing, the corrections. And if you use this one for creativity and then the next 30 minutes you use this one, it's sort of confused. You go slowly. It's less than, you're not very fast in doing that. It's better to just allow one part of the flow, get it out, and then another time when you are done I mean, when you are done with the draft, when everything you wanted to say about the topic, the book, the section, when you have put all of it either on ink, on your computer, recorded, now you can you leave the material, and then next session, now next writing session, you go through it, you read. Or maybe it's better for me to put this sentence or this section, this content is better in the introduction, in the body. So then you do the organization, the correction, and you go through it, you fix until you can read it yourself, you love it. Only then now you can send it to the editor to have a look at it. And when you are done with the editing, now you have like a Word document, say with 100 pages. It's almost a book. Now you start talking about, I have my manuscript. You can start looking for a publisher, because most publishers, they want to have a look at what you've written before signing with you. And we'll talk some more about publishing later on. But depending on if you want to go self-publishing or having your book published through an editor, there are some decisions you have to make. But we'll need to talk about another aspect involved in the book production, which is the packaging.